Alright, hello fun and welcome back to my Fallout 4 miniseries of Outcasts and Remnants, where today we are right where we left off here in this swampy area and just outside of the submerged bunker, where of course we're continuing on the prepared for the future mission to find the underwater Vault-Tec employee bunker, which we found, and now we just need to go inside. So let's head on in and see what we got. We got some, like, electrical pylon things. Interesting. Alright, cool. Well, let's just see if we can get in. We can! Alright, nothing special we have to do. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, now I'm wondering what to expect here with it being an employee Vault-Tec bunker. Oh, we're still underwater! Awesome! Oh, they're all dead. The whole place is flooded. Okay, well, first, light. That really didn't help too much, but okay, cool. Anything fun in here? No. I'm not too worried about my, health, because I do have the Aqua Girl perk, so... so we're probably fine. And it looks like maybe we'll have some, air in here. Oh, yep, there's the surface. Beautiful. Oh, the whole place isn't flooded. There's the door. Anything under here we can loot of value? No, just all stage dressing. Alright, fine. We'll go to the door. Okay. Nope, come on. There we go. Couldn't walk up that. And vault door control. Gather intel on Vault-Tec. Is it opening? Oh yeah, all the sounds. Good. Is Ash dead? Does he not like swimming? It's a distinct possibility. Okay, and it's open, and it's still pretty flooded. Cool. Well, at least up until this point. Anything in here? No. What the... Oh, that's the waypoint. I saw the green. I was like, what the heck is that green thing? Oh, yeah, the waypoint. Alright, well, it's at least dry up here. Well, let's start snooping. Storage. Ooh. And we got crafting benches, lockers. Excellent. Yeah, doesn't look like anything too interesting, though, in here. Ooh, bobby pins. Add them to my massive collection. Reactor room. That's a small reactor. Alright, well, over to the other side. I'm guessing we have to go that way, but... Oh, actually, no, that looks like there's some intel in there. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's keep looting. Conference room. Seems like an odd place for a conference room. You know, right at the entrance. Alright. Doesn't look like anything fun in here. Can take the untarnished coffee pot, though. And server room. Okay. Well, we have that computer. I want to see if there's anything interesting on this computer. Security log terminal. Intruder alert! Unauthorized activation of vault gear door detected. Evacuate lobby and initiate residential lockdown. Dispatching automated defenses. Use of deadly force authorized. Okay. So 4.3.2283 teleportation protocol. Vault-Tec agents shall not be told the location of the vault in the case of capture. Teleportation insertion points in the Commonwealth shall be a minimum of 4 miles away from the vault's location. Okay. Seems smart. Enclave prank radio transmission. We recently received unexpected radio contact over the governmental Vault-Tec frequency from an organization calling itself the Enclave. The governmental codes are valid according to our records, and the Enclave put forth an offer of amnesty and unity with the official remnants of the American government in exchange for access to the vault. They claim that our vault passwords no longer match their records, preventing them from extending their offer in person. Yeah, nice try, asshole. Original prank, though. Fusion City Nuclear Storage. Overseer Lincoln has instructed us to monitor the Initech distress frequency from Fusion City in case their nuclear storage facility is compromised. Why are we helping them again? Good question. Meddling kids. Some kids over at Fusion City, Rusty Wilkes, seem to be getting a little too interested in hunting down Vault-Tec relics. He's tripped a few of our sensors at sites around the Commonwealth, sending an agent to tail him. MIA agents. Agents Bluth and Zuckerhorn never reported in. They are the third and fourth agents, respectively, who have gone missing in the past 2 weeks. These disappearances have coincided with the establishment of a handful of settlements in the Commonwealth recently. Probably just a coincidence. Interesting. Interesting. All right, over to the council meeting minutes. Oh, God, we got a lot to read, folks. A lot to read. Ooh, door controls. Yay. Initial meeting of Governing Council in 10/29/2077. Overseer Perry has started the meeting with a moment of silence for Russell Cass, who gave his life sealing the roof entrance where the water from the Charles River was flooding in. Perry noted that without Russell's sacrifice, none of us would be here today. Councilman Olson proposed, and the council approved, an additional moment of silence for the friends and families who did not make it to the vault in time. Councilwoman Snow then proceeded to give an update on the structural integrity of the vault. The former street entrance to the reception area appears to have sunk 10 feet below the storage room and is completely flooded. As best we can tell, the nuclear blast triggered an earthquake that shifted the course of the Charles River, burying the vault entrance completely underwater and turning the surrounding Norwood area into a swamp. With the exception of the reception room, the rest of the vault was built into solid rock and appears to have no structural damage. We will need to build an enclosure around the flooded area inside the vault door, as there is no practical method to drain the water. Councilman Norris then provided an update on communications. We received communication of nuclear detonations in New York and Pennsylvania via television and news, and reports of several other detonations via radio. Then all communication cut off. Our antenna on the surface appears to have been knocked out. At this point, we have no communication with the outside world. We have to assume the worst. Well, I mean, nuclear war, yeah, it's kind of a safe assumption there. The council then discussed options for escaping the vault. A motion to dig out of the vault was voted down on account of the risk of structural integrity of the vault, exposing residents to radiation and risk of looters on the surface raiding the food supply. A motion to invest additional personnel and resources into Vault Tech's research on teleportation was approved. Can't dig ourselves out, so teleport. Good plan. Alright, 11/15/2077, inbreeding and social engineering. Wow, it didn't take them long to start thinking about that, huh? Okay. Councilwoman Lang began the meeting with a report of the vault's population. Operation Ark was initiated in the weeks before Armageddon Day. Unfortunately, most invitations to pre-selected scientists, engineers, and researchers were ignored. The population of the vault is only 96 people, including 28 children. Ooh, that is not enough for a sustainable population. And there's approximately 230 to 250 years worth of food, assuming reasonable population growth projections. The magic number of people needed to avoid inbreeding and create a viable population for multi-generational vault occupancy has been calculated by researchers at 160 people. However, with some social engineering, it is possible to half this number to 80. Yeah. No. Yeah, that's not going to be good. We have no contact with the outside world, nor do we have a way to escape the vault at present. We and our offspring may be stuck here for centuries. To avoid inbreeding, we will be forced to implement certain mating restrictions, including reproduction must be postponed to later in a woman's fertile period, at least age 34, to create longer time gaps between the generations. 2. Genetic screening will be required before mating between a given pair is allowed in order to prevent offspring with any harmful recessive characteristics that might lead to increased healthcare loads and depleted scarce medical resources. 3. All pregnancies will require a test to prove paternity. 4. Additional children beyond 3 per female will require approval on a case-by-case basis. The penalties for violating the above restrictions will need to be severe and include forced termination of the pregnancy. After vigorous debate and discussion, the council voted to approve Lang's proposal. The council next discussed and approved a plan for food rationing. Interesting. Yeah, that's not gonna... Yeah, it's not gonna keep a population going well. Oh, God, I'm trying to remember some of the stuff I've read in the past. Like, you need at least 50 people, I think, or 50 of a species that are unique to prolong their existence, but eventually it's going to be inbred and die out. And I think it was like 500 to properly repopulate, maybe? I'm probably entirely wrong on those numbers. That's just what I'm remembering from something I read ages ago. But yeah, so their minimum 80. It'll keep them going for a while, but they ain't gonna do well eventually. Alright, teleportation. Councilman Gordon began the meeting with a report on his team's research into human teleportation. If our ancestors had known it would take over 160 years to perfect, they never would have approved the research into teleportation. The early progress with teleporting photons led to false hope. Again and again, we always seemed to be one step away from the breakthrough we needed, but we finally cracked it. Wearing a receiver on the subject's chest, yesterday we successfully teleported a member of my research team from inside the vault to the surface above, and teleported him back safely. This changes everything. We can now send scouts out to assess the habitability of the Commonwealth. Our first order of business should be to repair the antenna on the surface so we can receive and monitor communications from the outside world. The council discussed and approved Gordon's proposal, forming a scouting intel division, hereafter to be known as Vault Tech Recon. Alright. Scouting reports. Councilwoman Grayson began the meeting with a report on Vault Tech's recon scouting mission. As we hypothesized, the immediate vicinity of the vault is no longer dangerously irradiated, although the background radiation is still above safe levels for long-term exposure. Pockets of more intense radiation are common, and the surface water is not safe to drink. Scouts will need to carry supplies of Rad-X with them on all future expeditions outside the vault, but hazmat suits are unnecessary. Our old maps of the Commonwealth are largely useless. The Charles River no longer follows the course it used to, and the area surrounding our vault is a swamp. Nearly all pre-war roads have disappeared or are no longer passable. We heard rumors of super mutants, ghouls, and deathclaws, confirming the genetic team's hypothesis of mutation due to extended radiation exposure. The good news is that human civilization still survives. Kind of. There are settlements at Fenway Park, now called Diamond City, Skullway Square, now called Good Neighbor, and Bunker Hill, still called Bunker Hill. The old Initech military installation over near Millis, Massachusetts, survived and has been turned into a new Las Vegas-style tourist destination called Fusion City. Seemed like nice enough people, although their dress code could use some reevaluation. Alright, isolationism versus trade. The council meeting has been called to decide the following issue. 1. Whether the vault should make its presence known to the Commonwealth and begin trade, or remain hidden. 2. Whether the council should inform the general vault population of the existence and extent of life on the surface, or maintain the current position that the surface is an uninhabitable, nuclear-ravaged wasteland with no realistic hope of existence outside of the vault. The council voted to maintain the status quo, keeping the vault closed and the general population unaware of life on the surface, so as not to create panic and unrest, and to protect jobs from outside competition. The minority opinion, summarized by Councilman Dawes, noted the following. Food stores will begin running low by the end of the century. Isolationism is not a sustainable long-term strategy. Better to engage the world now when we are not yet desperate for food and supplies, and have a valuable technology, teleportation, with which to trade. Using fake radio transmission to convince vault dwellers of the hopelessness of life on the surface will eventually backfire. The longer vault dwellers are involved in scouting missions to the Commonwealth, the harder it will be to maintain the illusion about life on the surface, leading to a class system of those in the know versus those on the outside. And potentially a police state of suspicion and dissension grows among the general vault population. The chairwoman thanked Dawes for sharing his unsolicited opinion, and the meeting was adjourned. Well, that's not going to go well for them. The Sydney Incident. Overseer Elaine Reading has called this emergency council meeting to address what is being referred to as the Sydney Incident. On March 13th, a 3-person recon team was teleported to Dunwick Borer's quarry to search for drilling equipment and possibly find Lovecraftian horrors. Shortly after the arrival, the team reported encountering a non-hostile civilian named Sydney, who was investigating the mine for paranormal activity. The events that followed are unclear. It appears a group of raiders showed up at the top of the quarry and opened fire on the recon squad. Agents Stark and Snyder were taken out by Sniper, and we lost contact with Agent Tarley shortly thereafter. When Mission Control attempted to teleport the agents back to the vault, the only person who showed up was Sydney. She claims to have grabbed the teleportation transmitter off Tarley's body, and as a result, we teleported Sydney back instead of Tarley. Sydney was kept in a holding area while Mission Control contacted the Council to figure out what to do with her. As Sydney was the first surface dweller to infiltrate the vault since the Great War, there was no protocol to deal with such an event. Nor did Mission Control anticipate Sydney's lock-picking skills. She escaped the holding area and proceeded to explore the vault, talking to residents about life on the surface. By the time security realized Sydney was gone, reapprehended her, and moved her to a more secure holding cell, she had already talked to dozens of residents. Yep, I told you it wasn't going to go well with them hiding things. The council is now faced with deciding the fate of Sydney, and by extension, reopening debate on the policy of remaining hidden to the Commonwealth and managing perception with Vault residents regarding life on the surface. Overseer Reading and Councilman Pinkman have proposed the following plan. Release Sydney back to the Commonwealth, reveal ourselves and open trade with the Commonwealth, share the entire story of life on the surface with the Vault's population. Councilman Lincoln and Councilwoman Fring have proposed the opposite, arguing that opening trade with the Commonwealth presents too many risks, including but not limited to violence, radiation, and disease. Releasing Sydney back to the surface would potentially reveal Vault Tech's existence to the Commonwealth, forcing our hand. The only safe option is to execute her. Overseer Reading maintains that the genie can't be put back in the bottle. Too true. The truth about the surface has already been circulated. The Vault residents will want to see the surface for themselves. Attempting to deny the truth at this point would only lead to growing dissent, potentially requiring brutal enforcement tactics against our own people to squash the truth and maintain order. We have already built the machinery to turn the lobby area into a teleportation hub for travel throughout the Commonwealth. All we need to do is open it and begin trading. Doing so would eliminate the need for food rationing and restrictions on who one can marry and when they can have children. We could use teleportation as the first step to rebuilding the Commonwealth. Not a bad idea. Lincoln reminded the council that its primary duty is to protect the safety of the Vault residents, that the standard of living in the Vault, although far from ideal, is still higher than the living standards in the wasteland, and that opening the Vault to potentially better armed wastelanders threatens the Vault's entire existence. A vote of the council has been called for tomorrow. In addition, Councilman Lincoln has cast a vote of no confidence in Overseer Reading. The motion has received sufficient support from other council members to force a referendum vote on Reading's job as Overseer. Okay, and the referendum. Oh, an attempted coup. I have a feeling I see where this is going. We've gathered all the intel. Infiltrate deeper into Vault Tech Bunker. The purpose of this meeting is to decide the following issue: whether Sydney shall be released, detained, or executed, whether the Vault will open trade with the Commonwealth, whether the full extent of life on the surface will be revealed to the Vault residents, whether Reading or Lincoln will serve as Overseer going forward. Prior to voting, both candidates shall be permitted to make brief statements. As the challenger, Councilman Lincoln shall speak first. Councilman Lincoln. We're going to make this Vault something special. That's where you're going with this, really? We'll start by rejecting Elaine Reading's plan to allow wastelanders in and instead beef up our defenses. There are some real bad dudes out there in the wasteland, and we're gonna keep them out. Yeah, they're really going this direction with this, huh? Of course they are. Jesus. Let's be real, folks. If the Commonwealth were to start sending their people here, they're not going to be sending their best. They'll send people who have lots of problems, and they'll bring those problems with them. Of course, that's where they went with it. They'll bring chems, they'll bring crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. What I'm proposing is a continued ban on wastelanders entering the Vault until our security forces can figure out what is going on. And the people support that. They want Vault security and thorough vetting. We also need a more protective barrier to shield the Vault. And I'll build it. I will build a great, beautiful barrier over our Vault entrance, and I'll make Diamond City pay for it. That doesn't even make sense. You guys have limited actual contact with them, so, I mean, barring the amusing caricature they're going for here, it just doesn't even make sense story-wise what they've created so far. But as for Overseer Reading, she should be ashamed by her record and submit her resignation for not calling the surface a threat from raiders, super mutants, and others what it really is. Crooked Elaine, yeah, they really went there, has wasted a huge amount of Vault resources trying to implement a failed public teleportation transit system that will do nothing except steal jobs and expose us to crime. She has not done a good job. She's been a very bad overseer, and she's been very unfair. As the council who runs things, we should relieve Elaine Reading of her duties. I mean, look at her right in that smug, ugly face of hers and say, Elaine, you're fired. Yeah, they really went there with that. Okay, Overseer as a reply. I think those comments speak for themselves. I won't spend a moment wondering what Don Lincoln means. Oh my god, I didn't even realize his name was Don. Means except to point out that every Don Lincoln sentence has words. Good one. Sometimes 3 words, or 2, and they're great sentences, terrific sentences that I can tell you, believe me, they're great, with the best words, not very big words, but terrific repeated words, and maybe I'm getting under Lincoln's skin a little bit because I do have the support of the majority of the Vault residents, but I assume as council members, you're all smart enough to see the bigger picture. That trade and openness with the Commonwealth will make us prosperous. The council has heard the arguments and taken a vote. The results are as follows. Councilman Lincoln shall assume control as overseer immediately. Yeah, boy. The vault will remain closed to the Commonwealth. Yeah, kind of thought that's where this was moving. The status quo shall remain in effect with respect to disclosing the existence of life on the surface. Sydney shall be executed. There being no further business, the meeting is adjourned. And coup! Overseer Lincoln has called this emergency council meeting to decide the fate of the perpetrators of the failed uprising to reinstate Elaine Redding as overseer. Although Redding has denied any involvement in the attempted coup, she is being tried for treason along with the rest of the group. After several hours of deliberation, the council decided the following. While death is a suitable punishment for treason, the Vault cannot afford the reduction in gene pool diversity. The old animal research holding facility shall be converted to a prison. The conspirators of the coup, including Redding, shall be imprisoned there indefinitely, except in cases where the Vault's reproductive needs take priority. Vault security will be overhauled, and the Vault Tech Recon Division shall hereafter be known as Vault Tech Corporate Security, taking a more proactive approach to eliminating potential threats both in the Commonwealth and within the Vault. Public mention of life on the surface shall become an offense punishable by imprisonment. And door control. Time to introduce them to me. Though in the next episode, because we're already at 22 minutes here. Wow, that was a lot more reading than I anticipated. This was a reading episode. And next time, we kill. I'm assuming. I mean, that's probably what's going to happen from what all we read. But yeah, they really went that route with that storyline, huh? All right. Well, that's going to be it for today, folks. Hope you have enjoyed a talking one. But, yeah, hope you do come back for the next when the shooting gets back on schedule. And until that time, thank you for watching. And as always, have a good one. Also, where the hell did Ash go? I don't know. Later, folks.